Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV, celebrity gossip, TikTok. We're going to talk a few things about some TikTok favorites of mine. And of course, Jeff Lewis extended. How are you? I hope you're having an amazing day. I have got to take sweet Luna to the vet soon, not for anything wrong, but to get her annual shots. I know her vaccines, the flu. What else? Her kennel cough is due. I feel like one more is due. Can they give 3 shots in one day? It feels like it's been forever. I can't even remember. And I feel like my husband took her last time, so now I'm forgetting. Anyways, okay, I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Let's get into, first of all, it's Brogan's birthday. So if you haven't checked out my Instagram, go check it out. I did reshare, or if you're following Shane Douglas, he has posted at least 2 super cute pictures of him and his man, Brogan, his roommate. I am just waiting on the engagement. I'm waiting on the wedding of the century. I just cannot wait. Oh my gosh. Waiting on them to be daddies together. Like, I cannot think anything other than positivity for Brogan and Shane. Give me a thumbs up in comments if you agree. I think they are so cute. When I tell you that Brogan and Shane are even cuter in real life, they really are. I mean, they're just so damn cute. I swear to you. So cute. So happy birthday to Brogan. Okay, Jax Taylor. I think I already shared this, but we did hear yesterday. We were hearing rumors that he was going to get out of this mental health facility on Thursday. I think he's going right into filming. They're saying that his priority is spending time with his son, Cruz. I'm not sure of that. I think Jax Taylor's priority is Jax Taylor. And ultimately, in a lot of ways, that boils, especially if him and his wife, Brittany Cartwright, are still separated what they are and maintaining 2 different households. Y'all, don't forget, it was reported that the house she was renting was like $15,000 a month. I'm sorry. I know she had $1 million contract supposedly from, gosh, was it Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers? What are the other ones? Some whatever. But that doesn't last too far in LA, especially when you have a kid and especially when you're maintaining 2 different households. Like, how freaking bad must it be to not be able to, one person stay downstairs, one person stay upstairs? I mean, almost like, Kim Zolciak and Corey Bierman are doing. Like, it must be really bad. But anyways, I just worry about the finances running out. I think that's a huge concern of his. I haven't heard anything on their bar restaurant lately, but I also never heard anything so fabulous about it that was like making people flock there and, them having fun events and stuff. I think the fact that Jax Taylor would show up a lot made people want to go a lot. It's almost like Tom or Schwartz and Sandy's. When Tom and Tom show up a lot, it makes fans want to show up. But at the end of the day, a restaurant in LA, West Hollywood, whatever, it's darn competitive. You need to have some good food, some good drinks, a good atmosphere, all the things. And everything I hear about it, it's like the one place I haven't been yet. I take that back. I haven't been to Schwartz and Sandy's, and I haven't been to Jax Taylor's bar. Jax's, I guess it's called. Jax's Studio City. But anyways, I think if the Valley doesn't work out for season 2, Jax has got to think of a master plan. Like, he's going to have to hightail it to Florida like he's been threatening for years because he wanted to get away and the prices and all the things. That boy ain't going anywhere. He is so into himself. Like, he is not going to leave LA. Speaking of into themselves, let's chat a little bit about a TikToker that I went down a rabbit hole again last night, and I've been worried about her for a while. Pearly Sparkles. Pearly Sparkles is I have no idea how old she is. She's been on TikTok for at least 3 or 4 years. And she was known as the hound dog girl. She would be like, ain't nothing but a hound dog. And, she'd kind of ask people to hold their phone. She'd be like, here's my phone. Can you hold your phone? these teenagers, 20-year-olds would recognize her from TikTok and be like, oh my God, they'd start videoing her. She'd get millions of views. And then all of a sudden, I want to say it was around December, it was just looking like she was homeless. I couldn't tell where she was living. She showed the roof of some hotel that she was in, and it was like completely mildewed. I was like, what hotel situation are you in? It was almost like she was there for like an awards show or something. So things seem to be going really well for her. Then all of a sudden, she deletes her accounts out of nowhere, which is always a bad sign, right? And then she comes back a few months ago and it was all religious. Her profile, I think she was still called Pearly Sparkles, but I don't know. She keeps changing her TikTok name all the time. She's also on Instagram. Now she's on both of those places as Pearl the Betch, Betch. But I know her mostly from TikTok. It was very like, wholesome, and she was very anti people commenting, and she went live. It was like, don't ask me. I don't do the hound dog anymore. That's not who I am. I've found Jesus. She would show all these Jesus, art and things. And her profile said something about the, Latter-day Saints, that she was a proud member of that. She would talk about Sunday going to church, but I think she was also talking about living in her car, maybe living at someone's house, maybe her pastor. It was a little bit confusing. Then, out of the blue, of course, obviously, her views weren't going up like they were. I mean, when I say deleted, she deleted, like she started from zero. At one point, I took a screenshot and she had 20,000 followers. So she literally started from zero. And I want to say she probably had 600,000 to 800,000 before that, maybe 1 million. I don't even know. And, and it was always these fun videos. I mean, I don't think people were laughing at her. They were laughing with her, and she was entertaining. So then it comes up with these Christian video, all about God and stuff. And people were not given the views. They were always asking for her to do that. So then she kind of did it a few more times. She showed us going to Universal, and she was doing the hound dog thing again. And then one day she was in TikTok live about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was her and some guy on a bed. And it was like parts of her were showing that I don't think she wanted to show. And it was awkward. He seemed younger than her. People were saying like we were watching like OF, live. It was super weird. And then you could see the change. So I sort of forgot about it for a while. And last night, for some reason, I thought about it and went and looked at her TikTok. Oh my gosh, she was on a rant. I mean, it's F this, F this. I hate my fans. Yes, I'm going to be honest. Y'all used me. I did all of this and y'all used me and threw me away. I don't make any money. I can't afford an apartment. I can't afford to buy a new car. All these things, all the while her never getting, I guess, a job. I'm like, social media can definitely pay people's rent. I mean, I think people like Joey Zauzig, they get brand deals. He's been doing this 8 years. It is definitely his full-time job, although he's now doing acting and, Jeff Lewis and branching out and stuff. At some point, you got to keep a job, though, Pearly Sparkles. So it's super angry, super aggressive. I made a video about it. It's very alarming. Then I was talking to Nat with Who Knows Nat. I love her so much. Make sure you're following her on TikTok and Instagram. She said that she remembers almost like deja vu, Pearly Sparkles saying literally verbatim the same thing that she was saying recently in these videos, mad and cussing and hating her fans and all this stuff, and then deleting her account again. So maybe that's what's around the corner with her. I don't know. I feel like it's a mental health issue, which is obviously very alarming. But I feel like we have to talk about that. There's people that are on these apps that are very alarming, but we feel like we know them. We get into them. We get invested in their lives, just like the Jeff Lewis show, just like the Housewives shows, right? We get very invested in them. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'll keep trying to watch her account. Someone else, another TikToker that y'all know, when she passed away suddenly, I was very upset about it. I guess because I knew everything there was so much going on with her at the time. So, call Marissa Roth. It came out today. Her final autopsy, not autopsy, her cause of death came up as natural at 36 years old. So basically, she was something like Benadryl. No alcohol was found in her system. Something similar to a Benadryl was found. Some pills similar to a pain management type pill was in there. And it was something about her heart. Basically, her heart was irregular and some kind of issue with her heart. So even though we know that can happen, it was just alarming because you see these people every day and then all of a sudden they're just gone. And at 36 years old, obviously, but she had just had her account taken away. People were alluding to the fact that it's because she was talking about J-Lo and they were saying J-Lo was coming for her, which I don't think had anything to do with anything. There was all these conspiracy theories. I don't think she was on the outs. She was not in a great relationship with her family. So, she wasn't found for a few days. And there was a video that I remember at the time talking about because I thought it was alarming. It was this sleep aid that she didn't do an ad for it, but she showed it. It's from April 4th. And I just made another video about it. And she basically says it's 2 pills, but I'm taking 10 a night to sleep. So at the time, her sister had said, we don't know what happened, what have you, but there was something that was alarming to the family. I'm assuming that was the video that was alarming to the family because everything else that's up on her TikTok is just her normal stuff that was up, which she was known like a Dumas. She did blind items. So she would just kind of lay in her bed. She had beautiful tan skin. She was losing weight. She would go on walks, but she was also talking about the loss of her account and how that was affecting her finances. She had to rebuild it from scratch. She had put up her PayPal, her Zelle. She was doing a Patreon. I mean, at the end of the day, this, I think, had become her income. I believe she had stopped her job. I'm not really sure, but I know at one point she would talk about her job. I don't think she ever said what it was. If anyone knows, let me know. And she never really said if she was still working, but she was saying she wanted to make this her full-time job. She wanted to be full-time and not have to go to work. So very sad. 36 years old. I mean, just, so young and just so heartbreaking. Anyways, another TikToker, Alicia Silverstone, kind of completely different. I guess yesterday, I just happened to see this video and then I saw it on TMZ, which is my news source, that this fruit that she just happened upon in England yesterday and took a bite of is like super poisonous. I'm like, dude, I guess she thought it was a pepper. But of course, social media to the rescue and everyone let them know that she was I guess she's going to be okay, but just alarming, right? Yeah, Sunny Meadow, how are you? Didn't know you were doing live streams again. You must not follow me or you must not be on social media much. Make sure you're following me. Also, make sure everywhere that you hit the button, I don't know if they have it on TikTok, but there's buttons everywhere on your profiles. On YouTube, it says notify me. Like if I go live on Instagram, it says notify me. So if I post things like that, but just make sure you're following me. That way you see everything that I post. I work so hard to post stuff. And then it's, when you think of like 3 people might see it, I'll be like Jeff, the first few years he would say, I had 12 listeners. I'm like, oh, honey, you have way more than 12 listeners, right? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think what I watched last night? I was thinking it's Monday. I watched a little bit of the 90 Day Fiance again, and then I caught up on a couple of TMZs. So I love the TMZ TV show so much. Thank you, Mary, for reminding people to hit the like button. I understand summer, Sunny Meadow, busy summer. I understand. Thank you, Victor. Anyways, I love that show. That would be my dream job, literally, to sit on TV, because I would love to be on TV, sit on TV and just chat and tease Harvey, what's his name? Harvey Levin? Why does that name sound weird? Harvey Levin from TMZ, right? That name sounds so weird. Anyways, also, again, it's like this very interesting group of people that sit around and chat all the celebrity gossip. So you kind of get to know their personalities and all the things. I love TMZ. Anyways, I don't even know what's on tonight. I feel like I've been traveling so much. Yeah, Harvey Levin. Thank you. Unapologetically Gen X on TikTok. Um, what is on soon? OC, a new episode of that. What else? I mean, is Below Deck? Was that what was last night? I don't know. Clearly, I don't watch Below Deck. This is like day 12. Like, I finally ate some eggs today, ate some blueberries, but I'm just not 1,000% yet. Like, I must be like Jeff, where you're just sick for weeks. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating for someone that just is used to having a lot of energy. It's so crazy. Oh, is The Bachelorette on, Lisa? The Bachelorette was so good. Jen is absolutely stunning and my favorite bachelorette ever. I guess I'm just so over these shows. I feel like The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, The Golden Bachelor, The Golden Bachelorette. I mean, they freaking already divorced. I mean, there's maybe 2 out of all of them. What's the other firefighter guy? Like one of the OGs. Krista and whatever. He's the firefighter. They have 2 or 3 kids. They've been married like 10 or 12, 15 years, but everything else is just, you know what, Yvonne, that is something I watched. I watched Dubai. I had missed a couple of weeks and I watched the one where they go to, what's the freaking island they go to? Somewhere I've never been, where they show up at the airport and Sergio literally acts like he's coming with them. And Chanel Ayan could not hold her face. She was like, I don't want you to come. This is a girls' trip. Why are you here? I love Dubai too, but I feel like I'm the only one that chats about it. I feel like I'm the only one watching the dang show. It's crazy. A lot of you love Dubai. Yes, I think it's so good. I think they I assume, I don't know. They must be so rich. I think you must be so rich to live in Dubai. Like, I don't even know. I can't even I think I would feel so prim and proper. I would probably say a cuss word and be kicked out of Dubai the second I landed off the plane. Like, I would be, like, so nervous to even go there. But the way they dress, Chanel, is she bald? Is she not? Like, I guess I thought she wore wigs before, but now it's like, I can't tell. Is she completely shaven? Does she have a short blonde buzz hair? Like, I can't even figure out what's going on with her hair, but I'm obsessed. I think it's so good too. Um, Wait, who's living in a van, Lisa? How can Kyle's autopsy be natural causes? Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Okay, we're talking about Kyle, Marissa, Roth. I guess it makes me think of like these athletes who are like 18, 20 years old, like going to college, playing in a high school basketball game. And even though they get these, not autopsies every year, what do you call it? When you get a checkup, a physical every year, and now they're checking the hearts. But I think a lot of people have heart issues that are just, they're unaware of. So I don't know. I don't know. Seems alarming for sure. So she's bald, Tiffany Chump. So in last night's episode, I'm 2 or 3 behind, but she had this very tiny blonde hair, like tiny. But in other one, she's been like shaven bald. I don't know. I guess I was surprised by that. It's season 2, and it's like all of a sudden she just does the confessional with a bald head and no one says anything about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, where did this come from? Like, it's pretty bold. I love it though. She is, I mean, she's something else. Does she wear, y'all, I mean, this is probably from Marshalls or TJ Maxx. I wouldn't know the difference of couture if it slapped me in the face. But when she says she wears couture everywhere, and then it's like falling on the ground and in the dirt, I'm like, no one would wear couture and let it just hang all over the dirt floor like she does. It's the craziest thing. I can't tell if it's really couture or if it's a fake couture. I don't know. Is she rich or people just loaning her clothes because she's on a show and she's a model? Um, Oh, wait, when? Okay, Cecily says it showed someone shaving her head. Okay, I must not be caught up. Granted, I have like 2 more episodes. I'm not caught up on Dubai. I was traveling so much. Anyways, okay, we will try to save time for the end at the end, but let's get into Jeff Lewis. Yes, Marielle says, I love Dubai, but I'd be scared to visit. Just read a news article that 2 US citizens were recently arrested for drinking on a yacht. Yikes. So I thought they had relaxed the rules on being able to drink. Remember, the first season, I think they showed that you could only drink at a restaurant. You couldn't like have a bar at your house. Kind of weird, almost like the rears of thank you, Lisa, for asking people to tap the screen on TikTok. I appreciate it. Almost like Salt Lake City that comes out soon. I read somewhere that someone Googled it. I think it was in the BravoCon Facebook group. Somebody said they Googled the start date of it, and it was September 18th. Now, I've done this before because I've looked at my DirecTV to see the recordings and to see what the first episode is. So I haven't checked Salt Lake City yet, but that's probably how they figured it out. So it's probably September 18th. Why they weren't able to say it, why Andy Cohen was asked the date, and when Meredith Marks was on, Jeff Lewis, and then they couldn't say a date. They're like, we gave you the date of New York City. And I'm like, well, if that's October 1st and Salt Lake City is before that, why wouldn't you announce Salt Lake City before? It was kind of crazy. What does that mean? Curtis says, did you find Jeff and Sherry? I don't know what that means. I don't know who you're talking about. Jeff Lewis and Sherry, his psychic? Was I looking for them? I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyways. Dubai is ruthless. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I like Caroline. I like her boyfriend, Sergio. He's super easy on the eyes. Do I think they'll be married in 10 years? Maybe not. Well, if they're still married, I don't think they will have had a kid. And I think he'll just come to the terms that he's just not going to have a kid. So, yeah. Dory says Dubai just didn't grab me this year. I mean, it's not like I'm watching, at the edge of my seat. I'm just kind of watching when there's nothing else going on, right? Anyways, okay, let's get into today's Jeff Lewis. It was Zach Noe Towers and a newbie who I'd never heard of. Had anyone heard of Jade Catapretta? I mean, she looks very young, super cute. I thought she really fit in so well. Oh my God, now I know who you're talking about. I thought you meant Jeff Lewis and Sherry, his psychic. No, I never did find them on the cruise ship. I went to the piano bar and it was so dark. So anyways, no way I'd ever find him, I guess. So Jade Catapretta, the only thing I recognized of all the shows, like he was literally listing her what was that noise? Oh, her IMDb or whatever was The Soup. So do y'all remember The Soup on E! Channel? So when I used to watch it, it was, what's the dude from Community? The comedian, the one that did what's the beef show that Jeff Lewis was on, the comedian. Now y'all are going to have to tell me his name. What's his name? Anyways, that's the only show I recognize, but I don't really watch any of the TV shows. Joel McHale. Thank you, Joel McHale. Why are you wanting out, Luna? Hold on. Let me go get my dog out. What you want out for? You want to go? You want to go? Okay. I thought she fit right in. She got a little potty mouth later in it, very similar to Zach Noe Towers. I mean, it sounds like maybe they're friends. They didn't really talk about how they know each other, but I'm assuming since they came on together that they are really good friends, right? Did y'all recognize any of the other show? Do y'all know who she is? Like, she was just knowing. It sounds like all the shows she's been in, she either was very successful at a very young age, or she just looks a lot younger than she actually is. Kind of crazy. Wait, what? Mary says, my 2 girls are flight attendants who won't take any shifts there as they held one for drinking wine in her hotel room. Oh, in Dubai. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, I guess someone told on them. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so y'all said Jade was great. Did you know her before Tiffany? Like, did anyone Jade Catapretta? So you when MJ was trying to say her name yesterday, it almost sounded, I don't know, just almost sounded like shady. It sounded like MJ was just like, "Who is that? Like, how do you pronounce that?" Almost like, "Oh, someone new coming into our group." It almost sounded a little bit shady to me. I liked her. I think she'll grow on me. I definitely think we need new people. Again, I don't like the same people every week. I mean, I like a little mixing up. I mean, no matter how much I like, okay, I've always said it, except for like Doug and Megan. Who else? I almost even think Michael Hitchcock. I feel like he can kind of come on any day with other people. A lot of y'all said she was funny. Tiffany Chump says she looked familiar, but I didn't know who she was until they started listing off all the shows. And see, that's my problem is I don't watch everything she was in besides The Soup. So if you're not aware of The Soup, which is amazing, The Soup is how my husband and I learned of Wendy Williams. So years ago, so The Soup was a TV show on E Channel. It's had a bunch of different hosts, and Joel McHale was one of them. And they would show clips of talk shows and make fun of it or chat about it. So one time they're doing Wendy Williams, and they're showing her eating a beef jerky, not a beef jerky, a Slim Jim, just sitting in her chair eating a Slim Jim. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this is, but I literally stopped it, set up Wendy Williams to record, and then think I watched Wendy Williams for years until, she was off the air after that. So I would learn, I mean, I think I knew most every talk show by then, but I actually learned of her from The Soup. So I love that show. So I guess it came back and I didn't even know, and she was one of the hosts of it. So yeah, when the show goes by quick, I usually think it's enjoyable. And that was one of the shows that I felt like went by really quick. So that's probably a good sign. Cecily says, what is Jade on? Somebody it was like a list of like Two Broke Girls. I really don't remember. It's just a lot of shows I don't watch. You know what I mean? I just don't watch a ton of TV shows. Oh, Tracy. I somebody says, what happened to Paige Davis? I hope she wasn't mean to you. Somebody else fill her in. I had no idea what happened with that. Yes, Lisa said, I used to watch Wendy Williams every morning here in Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, sort of wonder how she's doing. I wish her family or her, whatever they were calling her person that's helping her, I wish they would put out a video if she's doing better. If she's doing worse, I probably don't want to see, because I think Wendy Williams is one of those that I just want to remember in the best light. Like if she's going downhill, I just don't think I'd rather, I would probably not rather see that. Oh my God, I love that. Bravo and Stone said, I saw Norman at BravoCon. I totally remember Norman. He was so good. What was the girl that was the comedian, the blonde lady that was like the warm-up girl also? I feel like they knew what was going on. Obviously, they knew what was going on. I mean, I was watching live on that Halloween episode where she was dressed as the Statue of Liberty, remember, and fell down and collapsed and like passed out. She still came out. She just said it was like she got hot. Suzanne, yeah, that was her name. Yes. Wow. Yes, Mary Trotman says, I'm with Sarah. I want to remember her as the fabulous woman that she is and was. Just makes me sad because her only son is very, let me guess. If I had to guess, I'd say he's like 23-ish. I mean, gosh, little Kevin. I mean, don't you remember her talking about him going to high school? And I mean, just, he was her life. And I don't know, just crazy. Crazy, crazy. Okay, then they talk about Sam. So somebody already looked up a picture of Sam and sent it to me. It's not the same Sam, the one they were talking about on Jeff Lewis. Sam is the name of the social media guy that does his videos. He kind of stays in the background, doesn't really talk much. He's gotten on the microphone a few times, but that doesn't seem to be his little thing. Sam is this other producer that they've brought in, or a guy answers the calls, I guess. On Tuesdays, we know that Oscar was given the opportunity, which he took, to go and do the board, kind of like what Jameson does for John Hill's show. So it conflicts with Jeff's. So, or I guess he doesn't come back in time because the show's not at the same time. I don't know why he doesn't. There must be post production or something he has to do because for whatever reason he can't do both jobs on Tuesdays. And so this other guy, Sam. So Sam and Oscar go on speed dating last week, and they just start ripping Sam apart. His eyes, his voice. I mean, I think we all are going to be watching the video tonight just to see what they're talking about, because I think that's really the best way you can figure out somebody's personality. They were saying he was shifty. They were saying he sounded like Eeyore. I was like, I didn't hear any of that, but the picture of him, it wasn't great. I think it was from LinkedIn that somebody sent to me, and then it said Sirius XM. It said Jeff Lewis show, so it was definitely that show. Definitely that Sam. He's cute, but if I had to guess, it made sense that Oscar got more matches than Sam, which Sam got none. At the end of the day, they were both failures with the speed dating. I mean, Oscar got 3 matches, but he reached out to all 3, and none of them have reached out yet. And today is Tuesday. And then Sam got 0 matches. So that's pretty much considered a failure right there. So anyway, and then they've done it like 6 times, or Sam has done it like 6 times. So he's, I couldn't even figure out, is he into guys? Is he into girls? Is he open? Couldn't really figure out what he was. Oh, so Tiffany Chump says he's monotone. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Tiffany Chump says John Hill said that. I think John Hill is always going to be team Oscar. I think everyone loves Oscar, and so do I. John Hill said that he didn't mind Oscar dashing out of there to get to Jeff's show, but for some reason they won't allow it. Yeah, I feel like they don't want you kind of ending a show and, rushing over to I don't know. There must be something about it. I sort of wonder what's going to happen because, Oscar's 27, I think, but he's still getting his college degree. So I sort of wonder what's going to happen. I mean, obviously, I hope he gets a full-time job at Sirius XM, right? Definitely with Jeff Lewis. I think he's so good at taking the heat. I think he's funny. I think he's willing to share his personal life, and clearly he must do a great job on the phone. So clearly he can run a board just like Jameson can. So I think he's great. Oh my God, Annie, you're so sweet. I would love to see you on TV. Start manifesting it, Sarah. Ooh, manifesting it for sure. What else? Had you ever heard of the Gunkel book? Never even heard of it. And they acted that whoever that caller was said the main character reminds them of Jeff Lewis. So it was kind of like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Clearly a Gunkel. I think mostly of Tori Spelling using that term for years, talking about 2 of her besties. One that passed away suddenly, about a year or 2 ago. They had kids and all this. But I also know that Megan Weaver talks about some of her best friends, the wine people. Where is my wine? Oh, it must be way up top. The Hideaway Low wine place, her friends, she calls those her kids' gunkles. So it just basically means a gay uncle, but I guess it's a famous book and there's a sequel to it, and it reminds it. I was just like, I haven't read a book in so long. I used to be in a book club when my kids, how I was in a book club when my kids were little. I swear, don't you feel like we have more time when the kids are little than we do when they're older? Now, maybe not now that they're like high school and college, because they give you a lot of free time with going to the room and what have you. But there's a stage where you just have way more time when they're little kids and they're going to bed at 7:30 at night. And I used to love being in this book club and going and hanging out with my friends. So, what's WHF? Too many more important things going on right now, Sarah. WHF. I don't even know what that stands for. What else is going on? Anyways, Okay, let's get to the beef that they were going to squash that I don't think they squashed. I don't think they admitted what the real beef is. They sort of touched on it. A couple of callers mentioned the Krista of it all, which I think is absolute. I think it's one of these things. So Joey Zauzig and Justin Martindale have never done the show together. So today was the first time. Jeff kind of teased it at the end of like, they're going to be on for the first time. They're going to squash the beef. They're going to talk about what their problems are. I was like, oh my God, like what problems? Don't forget, around 4th of July, that weekend, I guess there was some stuff on Reddit that came out. They ended up saying part of it was true. Joey Zauzig was at a restaurant and I guess on a date, maybe with the married guy, that ended up being married. He was admittedly kind of vomiting information to him. He speaks very loud. So I guess someone either overheard him at the restaurant or overheard him. I think it was what's the restaurant? It was crap, if you tell me the name, not the Chateau. Anyways, one of these fancy restaurants where a lot of people go. Either that or the bathroom. There was several allegations and different things, but part of it was they were saying Joey was talking about people that he didn't like. I think Shane was mentioned. Maybe Justin Martindale was mentioned. I don't really remember all the details. And I'm not on Reddit, so I don't know exactly what it said, but somebody sent it to me and I read it at the time. So, no. Before that, no. Okay, that happened. And basically, Jeff was like, I don't believe any of it. I don't think any of this happened. But I don't like that one of the chumps or two reached out to me and texted me and said, oh, I can't believe they did. Like they instantly believed it all. And that came out and he eventually said it was Krista Lamas. He eventually mentioned it a few times. Yeah, Mr. Chow. He eventually mentioned it a few times that it was Krista Lamas and confirmed that it was her. So Joey, I mean, if anyone came on and then Joey would make some stories, I could never tell if he was talking about Krista, if he was talking about a chump, if he was talking about his ex-husband, Brian, but he would make some Instagram stories that were kind of vague, saying like, when somebody close in your life, betrays you, you have to move on. It was kind of like, who is he talking about? But definitely Joey was probably disappointed, to say the least, in Krista. Justin remains very good friends with Krista Lamas. He still takes, post Instagram stories with her. They still do things together. So it finally came out and Jeff actually said, look, Justin, I just choose not to talk about it. Finally, a caller said, hey, does you think this has anything to do with anything about Krista? And they all were kind of like, what? Seemed like Joey wanted to say, yes, it had something to do with Krista. Justin Martindale was very clear, I am staying out of this. But don't forget, everything last summer, he had an issue originally with Heather McDonald that he brought to Heather McDonald's attention and never got cleared up. So he didn't feel that ever got cleared up. Then something came out without the earrings and it became earring gate when it really started with an issue between Heather McDonald and Justin Martindale. So I think he has learned through all of that with the juicy scoopers to just not get involved and not fight other people's battles, if you will. You know what I mean? So, hi Looney, she's back. But a couple of callers called in and said it. It just, I don't feel like they need to be back on together. I definitely like Joey. I definitely like Justin. Jeff even at one point said that Joey has been kind of like destructive lately. Just his emotions are all over the place and he's been a little bit destructive. I guess this divorce happened in April that seems sort of out of the blue at the time. And now it's August. Feels like they were together like 6 or 8 years. That's kind of a long time, right? But Joey's clearly been open about, playing around and some sexy time with lots of people, maybe an orgy this weekend and doubling up on his prep dosage today. And what do you call it? Maybe you have to get under somebody to get over somebody else. So maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. I just feel like he was talking about him and Justin maybe going out and having a boys' weekend, going to the clubs. And Justin was like, "Well, can't we just go to coffee? Can't we just, like, hang out?" Like, I feel like Justin's in a relationship with Evan, who is so cute, so sweet, and I feel like Joey's single. It's kinda like it's not that they can't be friends, but they're in just completely 2 different places. And even though Joey is way closer, and I think he cares about being closer to Jeff than Justin does, I feel like there's always gonna be a tiny bit of jealousy between anybody that's, in kind of that situation, especially when it's 2 guys or 2 girls, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. What do you think? What do you feel like? Did you like them together? Do you want them on again together? I just don't. And like I said, it's not that I don't like them both. And I've always said I don't always love 2 guys. Like I love Justin and Ryan. I do. But I also like 2 different. I like a boy and a girl, so I know their voices or when voices are 2 very different, whatever. Um Life emotions. I don't know what that means. Omar on Instagram, life emotions into gay relate. I don't know what that means. AUS girl says Justin is such a good guy and a fabulous comic. I would love to see him live. Did y'all hear him promoting his Dallas shows in early September? I don't think I can get up there. We're going to be just, Labor Day is right before that. I just don't know that I can get up to Dallas, but sounds like, he wants to go out. He wants to go to the roundup up there. So if you're in the Dallas area, get a ticket, get on the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, post if you want to, meet up with a group. There's so many Dallas fans for sure. They would love to do that. Um, Omar says you inject life emotions and real life context into gay relationships. I have no idea what that means. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Life emotions. I don't know. You're talking too fancy for me. Um, oh, she did? Are y'all talking about Kyle? She used to suffer from addiction? I don't know that. Anyway, sad. May Boo. Hello, London. To be honest, I'm not sure about Joey. I don't know why. I mean, I've definitely seen more DMs saying that kind of thing about him and people just feeling like he and Jeff are going to be the next falling out. Even that caller at the end of the show. Thank you, Omar. It's a good thing. Thank you. Um, Even at the end of the show, a caller basically said, "Look, you and Joey and Justin need to get it together. I cannot, as a fan, we feel very invested in y'all's friendships and relationships, and we can't take one more feud. We can't take one more falling out. It just seems like a lot. Like, I need to see some good stuff. I need to see I don't know that I wanna see they're not a reality show, so I feel like Joey is always producing, and he even said today, "Look, I wish cameras were following me around. I think I'm a TV star." Very similar to MJ where I want to be, I think I wanna be on TV all the time. I feel like that's why he says about doing like a boys trip or a weekend. I don't need all of that. Like I don't think that's Jeff. Like Jeff is as much as I think Jeff likes to go to dinner and stuff, I think he also likes to be at home a lot. I think the reason he's going to Hawaii and he's traveling more is because, his daughter is 7 years old. Like he's got to, make vacations and make memories with her and stuff. So other than that, I don't feel like he wants to do weekends away and all these kinds of things. Mama Judy on Instagram says, "I'm over Joey. He's too needy." Needy. I definitely think he's going through it. I think it's his personality. I think he's probably always been very emotional, like he says. And I don't think you can change that at this point. Like I'm 51 years old. There's so many things I would love to change about myself that's just never going to change, right? At some point, you just got to accept yourself for sure. Um, Sunny Meadow says Joey's like a baby aspirin. You can only handle him in small doses. That's probably a good whatever. But I swear to you, in person, he's not like over the top or like obnoxious or loud. He's very sweet. And like I saw him have a very sweet conversation with a fan next to me at the Phoenix show. and I didn't listen to what the fan was saying, but Joey was whatever the fan was telling him was very heartfelt and loving. And Joey was like, "Oh my God, I appreciate that so much. That really means a lot to." It was very sweet what he was saying. I think his fans are a huge part of his life. You know what I mean? Like, so I understand that. Um, AUS says Justin is a hustler with work and has a good work ethic. Joey doesn't have one. Oh, I think Joey works hard. I think all the content he makes and making brand deals and going to the dinners and the weekends and the Taco Bell promotion. I mean, all that's work. Like he's not, you know, I mean, I think he loves being on social media, but I feel like it's work too. I mean, maybe because I do something similar on a very tiny basis, right? Me and 3 listeners, but, it's a lot of time and energy to, like, make a video or, go live every day, things like that, so, greetings from New Jersey. Anyways, just wasn't my vibe. Do y'all have any questions? Anything else you wanna chat about? P Pepin 30, please tap the screen on TikTok. I'd really appreciate it. It just helps other reality TV and Jeff Lewis fans. If you're just now joining us, we do this every weekday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Justin jumped on the takedown bandwagon of Heather McDonald by Jeff, so I lost respect for him. Okay, in all fairness, uh, Justin had an issue with Heather McDonald before Jeff Lewis and Heather McDonald and Earring Gate and Krista ever happened. So that your timeline is actually wrong on that because trust me, I was covering it like it was, like I was Connie Chung, if you will. Let's talk to Brandy. Oh my gosh, Lisa says, let's talk about Matt Matthews. Okay. Lisa in Kentucky sends me the best videos in summer of Matt Matthews, this comedian in Kentucky. And I ended up buying tickets. My friends and I are all going to see him in April next year. So, I've never even heard of him. My friends had never heard of him. My husband's never heard of him. I literally texted our group, our besties, and I was like, "Hey, has anyone ever heard of this guy? Do y'all want to go?" We all love going to see comedians. So I bought tickets, but none of them have ever even heard of him. So I'm kind of going in blind because I don't follow him. I don't really watch all of his stuff for sure. Judy says Mama Judy says 100% Justin got thrown under the bus by Heather. I mean, I have my thoughts on that. I totally understand. This is all summer 2023 stuff. I understand Heather McDonald saying, look, I like comments. I don't necessarily agree with them. But at some point when they were such horrific comments and her friend and professional partner, Justin, let her know, hey, you liking these comments are really hurtful to me. And it makes it look like you agree with them. There was some gay stuff. There was some stuff about an ex, maybe unaliving himself. There was a lot of comments. And she basically just said, oh, just deal with it. Like, we all have social media comments, just deal with it, just take it like a man, basically. So, but me personally, I know, I'm active on every social media. So I try to go through and like stuff. Sometimes I might like a comment. That doesn't mean I agree with it or I like it. I'm just kind of confirming that that I saw it. You know what I mean? I may not even be able to read them all though, because if it's a big whatever, I can't read everything on TikTok and Facebook and all that. Maya Hill, no, this is the end of it. We always kind of leave for like general comments or questions. Not to be off topic, but what happened with Hollywood House Lift? It wasn't renewed. He's made that clear. Amazon Freebie is who it was with. They are going under. I think Amazon Prime will still be a company, but they didn't have any money in the budget for a new show of Hollywood House Lift. So I don't even think, sounds like he was shopping it for months with other companies, but it doesn't sound like it's kind of going anywhere. So maybe what's going to happen is maybe a new show or two is going to come out, but nothing has been announced at all yet. I know he had a meeting in New York last week, but he has not updated us on that at all. Oh, Omar said Matt Matthews is funny. I love that these comedians can sort of do 1 or 2 videos and be so big. Like, all of a sudden, he's, like, on this second tour, and I love that for him, so, yeah, anyways. Any other questions? Tiffany Chump says, "I feel like Justin might be the next exit. I don't see how his strong relationship with Krista will last still being friends with Jeff." I feel like they're keeping it separate and all respecting each other. Yeah, Dory says, "I hope that's not the case. Justin likes the exposure. Obviously, it's great for him and is mature enough to keep things apart." Yeah, I mean, I hope so, right? AUS says, "I didn't like how Heather handled Justin, and I like her." This is what happened with me and Heather last summer. I personally was getting so many comments from her huge fans. I mean, like her $20 a month behind the gates Juicy Scooper fans saying, "Look, I feel like she's changed. I don't like," because within the Patreon is where she was liking some of these comments that Justin saw and was sent pictures of them and stuff. So, at the time, it wasn't blocked, and I had sent her a message and I was voice texting with her back and forth, and I was like, "Look, I'm a Jeff Lewis fan account." I mean, at the time I was called Jeff Lewis Obsessed, and I said, "Your fans are complaining to me about you and how you're handling," because this is when all the earring gate and the Jeff that it all started, right? So then it became like the Juicy Scoopers against the Chumps, which wow. I mean, that just became wow. Uh, but she basically just never took, in my opinion, with me, never took responsibility for saying yes. Cause I told her, I said, "Look, you need to come out and say, look, I'm not homophobic. I don't agree with this. I don't like that people were saying this about him. I liked this comment. I didn't mean it." And you can still say you don't agree, that you think that y'all are still friends, but it just kind of all blew up. Remember, it was like 4th of July and that was all going under. People were talking about on Juicy Scoop. What's the other one? Is Melanie in here? What's the other Facebook group? Juicy Scoop Obsessed on Facebook is moderated by Heather McDonald and maybe her husband, Peter. I'm not sure. They are very clued in on who they allow, what posts they allow, all that. There's another one. Melanie, are you not in here? What is the group? There's a Facebook group that's a secondary one that Melanie created for Juicy Scoop fans that talk more freely and openly, things that Heather McDonald won't allow in her Facebook group. So they were talking a lot at that time about something's going on. And then all of a sudden, Justin was supposed to open for 1 or 2 of the shows out of town that Heather McDonald was having, and he just was disappeared. It just became where he wasn't there at all. And so then we knew something was going on. But, there was all these rumblings underneath. Thank you for the rose. Thank you, Heather. And thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Over on TikTok. Yeah, I think there was definitely tension, Tiffany. Hopefully they stick around, meaning Justin and Joey, but I just don't ever do a show together again. That tension was real today. Thank you so much. Y'all are sending me stuff over there. Is that Robin? Robin, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Dory, we're not going to get into those details. I'll let y'all chat about that on the Sarah from Texas Facebook group if you want. But Dory says, "Sorry, but Heather McDonald, but those comments were vile and she shouldn't have just liked them." Even like there's a video I made recently about Kelly Dodd. Well, when you mention Kelly Dodd, it's all the Trump thing is always going to come up. And I don't get political. I really keep all of that separate. Whether someone is good TV or not has nothing to me with their politics. But if I go and I try to like those comments just to let people know that I recognize them, that I acknowledge them, doesn't mean I agree with them. But when they're blatantly rude or blatantly political, I just don't like them. I just skip over it. But if I make a mistake and actually do that, and someone were to alert me, I would just go and unlike the comment. Because, I mean, the way y'all notice everything, who's following who unfollowed, who's commenting, who's liking, who's resharing. I mean, nothing gets past a Jeff Lewis fan for sure. Wait, what are you talking about? My husband just watched it. He said it was decent. Omar on Instagram says they talk about the Scott Peterson retrial. Who? Kelly and Rick? I know they're not watching OC because they make it very clear we're not watching OC, which I think is interesting because last season, not only did they watch it, they literally recapped it. They did a regular show and then they did a completely separate show that was an OC recap, right? Weren't they doing 2 shows? Maybe it was just too much, especially now that he's got another job already. Oh, Juicy Scoop and Juicy Scoop Obsessed in the Facebook group. Is that what you mean, Omar? I want to say, I wonder if I got out of that Facebook group. I don't remember. Or I wonder if Heather McDonald deleted me from it. I don't think she would. She's blocked me, but I don't think she would delete me from the Facebook group. I mean, I would like to not think so, right? What else is going on? KFC says it was, and it sounds like Justin was being friendly to Joey in the green room, and Joey didn't want to be friendly at first, but I like them both. Well, and Joey's like farting and burping. I'm like, ew, like you can pass gas without someone hearing it. Like, let's not be gross, but in a burp, you can even like subdue it a little bit, like have a little, even Jeff said, Jeff, that's just not Jeff's thing at all. Jeff was like, don't be gross. Like, that's disrespectful to him. Like, don't make him sit there and be, it's like, if you're not old buddies, and don't sit there and fart and burp in front of each other in a small space. You know what I mean? Which clearly Joey and Justin, they haven't really hung out. They've kind of seen each other. How did they put it? They said something about, they've seen each other out, but they have not hung out. Very, very different, right? I mean, just, very different, whatever. Omar says over on Heather McDonald's page. Well, I wouldn't know. What is this about? Somebody was sending it to me yesterday. Okay, so, Alexis, we're going to wrap up in a second, but Alexis Bellino is teasing that Johnny J has these Ring camera videos, but they haven't been released yet. And I'm thinking if they haven't yet in August 2024, they're probably never going to be released, right? For a lot of reasons. Somebody, because I'm blocked, somebody sent me a screen recording of a story on Heather McDonald's Instagram that vaguely looks like the inside of a living room. Can't really see the identifying faces, but it looks like a dog, like Archie. It looks like it could be Shannon Bedore and Johnny J inside this room, inside a living room. And then it looks like he says something to her about being drunk and she falls on the ground. I have no idea what that video was. But then it goes into another video where Heather McDonald was talking about the Demure thing and wanting to go to sleep, and she was too old to research it and all this stuff. Did anyone catch that and understand what it meant? Was it meant to be a video simulating what could be Johnny J and Shannon? I thought that was all weird. Like, it's just weird to me. But again, I'm blocked by Heather McDonald. If anyone's besties with Heather, say just unblock her. Just literally unblock her. Literally. Yes, I thought so too. KFC says Daddy Jeff was very parental today towards Joey. I think he's done that a few times. I think he's been very, what do you call it? Apologetic or understanding of Joey's behaviors lately. But I feel like he's also given him advice and being like, like, I don't think he likes the talk about the orgies and the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Does anyone have any information on that? The Heather McDonald video. Yes, Jay says, I'm a little behind, but I was also a Connie Chung. Justin started the takedown of Heather. I was so upset, but not as much now, but still a little butthurt. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyways, and all those videos are up. I think I've got a playlist on TikTok called Heather McDonald. There's one on YouTube called Heather McDonald. So I think you can look at them that way. I don't think Instagram makes it as easy to do a playlist, but TikTok and YouTube do. So Anyways. Well, thank you so much for joining live. It is always way more fun. If you are watching as a replay, shout out. We adore you as a replay also. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, the thumbs up, make a comment, and make sure you're following me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast or listening at Sarah from Texas, the podcast, the Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all the places, and give me a 5-star rating and review. Have an amazing Tuesday and say a sweet little prayer for my Luna when she has to go and get these vaccines today, because I can't stand when babies or my puppy dog have to get vaccines, but we know they have to get them. So, okay. Bye, TikTok. Bye, Instagram. Bye, you.